A boss mom doesn't allow society to tell her that her goals no longer matter. She handles her business both inside and outside of the home. Welcome to the Boss Mom Movement Podcast with me, your host, Ashley White, where you'll hear me speak with millennial moms who have not allowed the title mom to stop them from achieving their goals. During this podcast series, we'll discuss how we balance it all and other mom-related topics. It's a space for all my bossy mamas, whether you're an entrepreneur, mama in corporate, or both. Being a boss mom isn't easy, but it's our lifestyle. So with that being said, all right, boss moms, let the movement begin. Hey, boss moms. Before we get into this episode, I want to come talk to y'all about something that I feel is very important as we are being business women and just juggling many hats as we do every day. I have never been the one to really delegate tasks because I love to control things, but I have found that it is easier and it helps me relax and just live a sane life. Well, I ran into a great virtual assistant. The Lux Life agency has helped me just keep my machine running and still giving me time to just be a mom. I think that their services can benefit anyone from anything from administrative tasks to content creation, social media management. I mean, what more can you ask for to help keep your business running? Head over to their website, ourluxlifeagency.com, do a consultation, let them know Ashley sent you. Let's just make life easier as the boss woman that we are. All right, now let's get into this episode. Hey, boss moms, welcome back for another episode of the Boss Mom Movement Podcast. You are here for season 4. Time is really just passing me by. Honestly, I can't even believe that we are in season 4. But I'm happy to be here and happy to have you all still listening. So today I wanted to discuss avoiding burnout while balancing motherhood and business. And I have efficiency coach here, Ayanna Caesar, to tell us how we can wear all of these multiple hats and still have structure in our everyday lives. So welcome to the show, Ayanna.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
So I wanted to, I'm trying to figure out which question I want to ask. Well, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself. Introduce yourself to the audience.
All right. So my name is Ayanna Caesar, and I'm what you called an efficiency coach, which not many have heard of. And what I particularly I work with entrepreneur moms, and I teach them time management and organization strategies so they can find the smart way that they can function in both areas of their life without wasting time and energy, so they can show up as the best version of themselves 24/7.
I love it. Mm-hmm. I definitely feel like we need that in our lives. So I'm not a full-time entrepreneur, but part-time, and just wearing all the hats that I do wear now, I'm like, there is not enough time in the day to get everything done. Like sometimes I'm just sitting there looking like, how do people do this? Like, so as far as being an efficiency coach, like tell us, I've never heard of an efficiency coach, actually. So I'm quite interested to see, like, how would I find an efficiency coach if I were looking for one?
Well, I mean, particularly, I think a lot of people mix the concept of productivity and efficiency when they sort of work together, but they're very different. And so when you talk about productivity, we're talking about making sure we're getting things done, like you want to get things done. If you have a problem with knocking things out of the way, okay, great. It's good to be productive. But an efficient person or efficiency coach is the person now who will show you the different systems and techniques that you can be productive, but without the burnout. Because it's very easy to get everything done and feel extremely burnt out and overwhelmed. An efficiency coach is the person who shows you, okay, there is a smart way to do this, and you don't have to be so tired when you're done and everything gets done. So that's basically the difference between the two. So it's about not wasting time and energy. And that's specifically why I am an efficiency coach, because let's be real, us as moms, when we're trying to do having a business, some of us, like yourself, you have a business, you work a full-time job, and myself, and you still have your family to deal with. We don't have the luxury as, and I don't want to sound anyway, but somebody who's a full-time entrepreneur and just running a household, that is also less requirements on you, right? And so we don't have that luxury of not having a family and just focusing on a business, or not
Right.
having a business and just focusing on a family. We have so many moving parts. And so it requires a lot of our energy, time, and brain power, right? And so we
Yes.
can't be just knocking things off of our list and being productive. We have to really be smart about it and do it in a systematic way that makes sense.
So do you have because it sounds like project management in a sense when you think
Yes.
about time and making sure that everything is getting knocked off the list. So do you like what kind of education, I guess, goes into becoming an efficiency coach, if any?
So for me, I'll give a little bit of background on myself, right? Particularly, I'm a single mom of two girls. I'm sorry about that. And there was a point in my life where I actually was an employee. I was a student. I was a full-time employee, student. I was also an entrepreneur, and I was a business partner and a wife, all at the very same time. And I was a wedding planner when we talk about my business. So I was always a person making sure things happen on time, creating project schedules for things to get knocked out. Even as a business partner in a tech startup company, that was my job. So I've always been a person handling, let's get things done. But I was failing in my personal life, right? And so what I basically did was, okay, this cannot continue like this. How can I use my skill set in my actual business that I'm doing, or as an entrepreneur, and put it into my personal life? And so I created a series of formulas that allowed me to be able to do all of it. And then I did it on so many people. Like, I helped so many friends using it. And then eventually I decided, you know what? This is something that I know I can give value to so many other women, because it's not by chance that my entire circle of friends who were very much entrepreneurial as I was struggling the same way and needed a solution, right? All very powerful, because the fact that you choose to be an entrepreneur means that you don't necessarily have a problem with being productive, right? Your problem is really trying to do it all without anything falling by the wayside. And that's the part where I would come in. So I have to say my knowledge and skills that did come from my experience as a wedding planner and a project manager in my business, and then using it to my personal lifestyle. So I use my personal life and my business skill set and put it together and forge this amazing thing that has transformed so many women's lives now.
And how long have you been an efficiency coach?
So I recently professionally started it. So it would be 2021, which was recently. I just started officially being out there doing it.
Yeah.
Not secretly behind closed doors being recommended. So I'll have to say I went public 2021, but I've been doing this for so many people many years before that.
That's good. And, you know, it's good when we can realize that we need that help, because it is a lot trying to juggle everything, and then to avoid that burnout and not feeling so overwhelmed. Because I can honestly say, like, since I have started doing side entrepreneurial things along with my 9 to 5, and then adding the baby on top of that, because he just came 8 months ago, it has really been crazy. Yeah. So it's like the prime baby time where he needs me for everything, on top of starting the Boss Mom movement. I was like, I don't think this is going to work. Like, I continually have to give myself pep talks, like, just stay afloat. It'll all work out, you know, but then also trying to find that balance, and, or more so structure, and not burning out, because I oftentimes do feel overwhelmed. So when you have your clients that tell you that, I know you mentioned formulas. I know you don't want to give us all the secret sauce, but what do those formulas look like for your clients?
So one of the major things that I tell people when I coach clients, or it's public knowledge for me, there are 4 major pillars I tackle when it comes to helping you manage your time more effectively. That's the thing that's going to prevent you from burning out. Let's just make that clear, managing your time, right? And so those 4 things are like planning, and then you talk about prioritizing, delegating, and setting boundaries. Those are the 4 major pillars. And then we dive deep down in it. And when you talk about planning, you talk about organization and things like that, not just a lot of people are very intimidated by the fact of using planners or schedules or things like that. It could be very simple. Depending on who is my client, we find a rhythm for you, right? Because I'm all about teaching time management that works for your particular lifestyle. It's not a one size fit all. I'm a very unconventional coach. So when it comes to talking about time management in terms of, I don't believe that you need to be on time for everything everywhere. And that will take us to pillar 2, which is priorities. So a lot of us think, especially as moms, I don't know when this ever happened, but we feel like everything is important and everything is a priority and everything needs to happen now. So one of the major things that I do is teach these moms now how to particularly prioritize effectively. So I have a blueprint and you ask yourself these questions and very quickly you get to see, oh, wow, I thought this was important, but I realize it's not as important. So once you get the hang of prioritizing as well, too, you don't find yourself. The reason most of us, and I'll go back, at the end of the day, if you've ever experienced burnout, but then you feel like you never really get all the things that you plan to get done, completed. If you've ever experienced that, it's because you probably did not prioritize effectively. So when the day is done, yes, you got a lot done, you're extremely tired, but then when you check your list, I didn't really get what I should have gotten done for the day. So that's why prioritizing is extremely important, because now you will exert the energy on the things that really matter and you're not counterproductive, right? And then we talk about the delegation side of it. We all know delegation is about outsourcing and getting as much help as we can, right? As moms, especially as new moms, and I don't know if you experience this, Ashley, it's very hard to outsource with your baby as a new baby, first time mom as well. It's extremely hard. There are other angles of your life that you can outsource as well too. And so we dive heavily into that. Technology is a very big part of helping you outsource and delegating some things as well too. In businesses, I have clients decided to move forward and have virtual assistants, things to really just take off the additional work off your plate. Delegation takes you very, very far, because if you try to do everything every second of every minute of every day, that's why you're burnt out. There's some things you just have to leave and give over to somebody else. If you think about self-preservation more and how it's more valuable that you have your energy, you'll be easier to relinquish things. Because we are a better version of ourselves. We are a better contribution to everything if we have the energy and we are in a better headspace. So whatever you need to get you to that headspace, to delegate it. And then we talk about boundaries.
Boundaries, big one.
Boundaries. One of the most major things people think when I say boundaries, it's just about friendships or even in business. Let me tell you something. You need to set boundaries with your children as well. Children need boundaries. Like I said, I'm very unconventional, so it may sound very strange to people, but if you don't set the precedence, people will treat you the way that you allow them to treat you, including your children.
That's true. Right? Yeah, that is actually true. Even though he's not that old, but I can see it happening already. Like, okay.
Yeah. So, and that's the other pillar where we talk about, because a lot of us experience, and you will eventually actually see where it's almost like you try to do this and you can't because the kids bother you, or you don't get time for yourself. Your son is always asking for your attention. And so we tackle things like that. I work very heavily with teaching parents how to give children their time, be consistent with it, and explain to them when you need your time. Right. So that's another angle of it when we talk about boundaries. Yes, we tackle the boundaries in business, we tackle the boundaries in relationships, but then we tackle the boundaries with children, which is the hard part for most of my clients. Because it's just like, how do I? The children won't give me a chance. They won't give you a chance because you do not require it. So they will, you have to require what you need. And it's a healthy thing when you teach children boundaries, because children mimic. So when you do that, they learn to set healthy boundaries as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's true. And they are sponges. So they're going to soak up everything that they learn at home. And that's definitely a positive for them to learn and then take out into the world for their own lives. So I like that. So what does it look like? Let's say you had a client like me. I'm working 9 to 5 and I'm balancing other businesses on the side on top of family life. what are some, I guess, tips and tricks or some suggestions? I know you said that you work or you build your formulas based on the person and what they have going on. So for a mom like me, what does that look like? What are some suggestions that you would give me when it feels like I can't find that much time? Because when you think about your 9 to 5, okay, you're on 8 a.m., 9 a.m. to work, getting off at 5 o'clock, maybe 6 o'clock, depending on how your day is. And then you have to balance family, because generally family time is in the evening after work hours. But then you also have these businesses or a business on the side that you're juggling. So what's some advice that you could give to a mom like me?
So for a mom like you, I would definitely say one of the major things, you have to become exceptionally well with planning. And when I say planning, that is one, identify your pods, which you've already identified. I call them pods because they are major components of your lives that are not going to shift, right? You do have your job. Your 9 to 5 is important. That's happening. It's not going to change until you decide to leave. So that's a pod. And then you have your family and home pod. Then you have your pod for your business, right? So once you've identified them, which you already do, I also need you to become extremely good at planning and understanding that multitasking is your biggest enemy. And what that means is at the times when you are supposed to be doing things in your family and home pod, do not cross over and do anything with your business. It needs to be specifically devoted to family and home. And so when you have that pod for your business, the planning side of it is extremely hard, because I have a technique, and I'm dropping a gem here, right? It's called a 1-3-5 method, which is how you identify what task you need to do in your business. So you start with those high skill techniques first, that high skill activity first, something that high strategy activity, 3 fun activities, and 5 routine activities. Once you've planned that out, when you have gotten into your pod for your work, you'd run through the things you need to get done. So that is a planning tactic. So you have to become extremely good at your planning, because now you do not have as many hours as a full-time entrepreneur to devote 8 hours into your business. You have less time. And when you have less time, it means you need to be extremely meticulous with how you plan, so that when you get into your smaller pod to do business, you can knock out what you need to. That is being efficient. You're getting as much done in less time.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely one of my struggle areas, just because I do have 2 businesses on the side that take up time. So I try to set, I don't want to say I use a planner. I use a journal. I journal everything. I try to get better with, and I won't say planner, I'll say calendar. I try to get better with calendar usage so that I can do timing everything. I'm good at doing that at the 9 to 5, but it's in the other areas of my life where I'm trying to, balance and say, okay, I need to be in bed before 11, let's just say, so it's like, okay, you have basically between the hours of 5 and really you don't even want to say till 11, maybe like 10, because you still have to get ready for bed, right? And so it's just trying to divide and, like you said, prioritize, and some weeks I do really well,
and some weeks you don't,
not so much. You're right.
And that's okay. That's okay. That is also something I think we have to remove the stress of feeling like you have to have it all together all the time.
Yeah.
Once you are consistent, you'll just keep getting better at it. Just be consistent. Even when the day does not go as you plan, or some days are not as you expected it to be, just keep applying the strategies, and you'll see you just get better as time goes by. Because, even if you think about the way that we teach our kids how to do certain things, it's over consistency. So they learn how to potty train when you are consistent teaching them how to potty train and things like that. So if you are consistent with applying these techniques with your time management, it takes about 66 days before your brain understands that it's a new habit you've implemented. So if you've never really been a planner, or you're now applying this strategy to your life, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be trial and error. After 66 days, your brain is like, oh, wait a minute, this sounds like something. Oh, this looks like it's a new thing we do. Like, this is what we're doing now, And so if you keep falling off and not trying to apply it. You are just holding back that 66 days. You're just pushing it back from really getting that breakthrough where it becomes second nature, you know? And so people just need to be reminded of that. It's not going to be perfect when you get out of, when you jump out of the gate trying to implement it. It will take time, you know?
Absolutely. So what would you say is maybe like the most frequently, I guess, frequent situations that your clients maybe like go through that they say they're just having such a difficult time getting over this particular hump as they're, trying to be an entrepreneur mom that's trying to balance business and home? Like for me, I said it's time, I guess.
Yeah, well, everybody's time. Everybody's
right.
Day. How do I get more hours? But really and truly, a lot of them struggle with feeling like things are unfinished. They really feel like things are unfinished, and that's why you get that sense of feeling like I don't have enough time. Like I could never finish what I want to get done within the time, and it either spills over into time when they're supposed to be resting. So some work, and I don't know if this has been happening to you. Have you been staying up late working on projects sometimes? Yeah, yes. Because you feel you need more time, right? And so you sabotage your night rest, which is what I tell people don't do. So one of the biggest challenges that they have is that they feel as though things are incomplete. They never get to finish things when they expect it to be finished. That's one. And a common thing with them is everybody who comes to me, none of them has a bedtime.
That would be me.
None of them has a
What is that? Like for me, honestly, I'm like, okay, maybe 2 a.m. today. And I don't necessarily like to do that because I do have to get up and work early hours. I mean, I need to be on by 9 a.m. So, being up wee hours in the morning, sending emails is not what I want to do, but it is definitely something that I have done before and that I'm trying to move away from.
Yeah. And in all honesty, the reason that we do it is because, and I say we, because I am my clients. I always say that. I am exactly, so I understand completely. The reason we do it and we feel like we don't have enough time is because we're not time planning. That is really the genesis of it. The reason, because we have not really effectively planned and prioritized effectively. We don't have enough time. And so we end up binging, taking time out to sleep, or we end up multitasking because we didn't plan properly, Yeah. So once you learn how to do that effectively, you could really get more done in less time and avoid the burnout.
So I know you have some products and services. I did take a look at your website. What are some of those products and services that you offer to your clients?
Oh, so I have a group coaching, which is called an Efficiency Momentum Bootcamp. It's usually like a 3-day bootcamp that I bring ever so often. And I basically teach moms from there how to create a structure. So at the end of that 3 days, you just learn how to segment your life and create a structure. This happens at this time, that happens at that time, and you get to stick to it, right? And then I have my Efficient Planner, which is a planner which is now available on Amazon in paperback because it was a digital planner, but everybody was like, we want paperback. Yes. So that planner is perfect, especially if you've gone through the boot camp, because we use a lot of it to show you how to plan, create a structure. Okay. And it's like the Bible for all mompreneurs, because we have a very unique lifestyle. So a lot of us and our brains have a lot of ideas that come in at many different times, at some of the oddest times. So I designed this in a way where you could have everything in one place between the children's schedules, your schedule in business, your personal goals, your quarterly goals. Everything is in that one place. You don't have to use 2 or 3 different planners. It's all in one. So that is available on Amazon now in paperback, and it comes with pre-recorded videos and tutorials from me to help you stay on track, right? So it's not just a book, but you actually get like a course with me, keeping you on track. In case you fall off, you could listen to me again and I could get you back up there again. Right. And then the last thing that I have, which is now out, I have something called Master the Clock. It's actually a one-on-one coaching program. So this is really for the entrepreneur moms who are really trying to scale their business, and they really need like okay, this is not continuing. I can't continue like this. I'm really struggling. The business is going in a direction, but home is falling by the wayside. Like, what do I do now I really want to fix this? So I work with them for 6 weeks, one-on-one. We tackle the mindset behind their habits. And this is where we really work on creating that habit. I'm your accountability partner. So I'm teaching you, you'll be able to create structure, become more organized, work on the 4 pillars, and I am accountable with you. So every week you do your homework, come back. And when I'm done with you, you're completely different, you know? So those are the 3 things that I offer.
Okay, that's good. So do you teach other women who maybe want to become efficiency coaches as well?
No, not as yet. I have not, but that might be a good idea.
Yeah, I definitely see that being beneficial.
Yeah.
It's definitely something out there that women need. You know, I know you specifically, you say you work with moms, but I think anyone balancing, you know, because maybe you're married, maybe not kids yet, but you still have to take care of home with the husband or your partner if you're not married, but still have those responsibilities, but still juggling other outside you know, businesses that you may have, because I think that gets the best of us, right? Entrepreneurs, because that's one thing entrepreneurs don't share. Everyone wants to scream, go into entrepreneurship, have your own, but they don't tell us the negatives, you know, like, okay, it does take time to build your business. It does. You do need structure, right? I oftentimes, you know, tell people, like, I get a lot of my structure from my 9 to 5. Like, I'll be honest, I don't even know if I never had a 9 to 5, I don't know how organized I would even be.
Right.
And so I think what's one of the things as an entrepreneur, because you said you're doing this full time now, right? As a efficiency coach, are you still?
No, I'm still employed as well too. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So how has it been for you to balance it? You did say you're one of your own clients, right?
I am. I'm actually as well. I'm studying as well. Yeah. So when I speak to my clients, I definitely understand.
Yeah. Do you have any desire to take this on full time?
Oh, most definitely. Yes. The intention is to go full time into this because I really want to expand. I am intending this particular year to also incorporate what I'm doing into a lot of business coaches reach out to me because even as much as they deal with their clients, sometimes it's hard for them to implement what they are teaching if they are not very structured or organized. Right. So now I am now offering what I have in coaches programs. So it's a very instrumental part because, we've tested it out and their groups have gotten more results when they've started with, okay, this is how you're going to become more organized. And so when they get in front of their actual coach, they could apply what they've learned and be able to do things more effectively and really get the results out of the program. So I do intend to go full time because I could see this being a need for not just entrepreneur moms alone, but those programs where they deal with building women up in business as well too. It's good to learn the business side of things, but I want us to become really more organized, efficient with the way that we do it too, right? Because you don't want to have this dream and then you get into it and you're so disorganized, you feel you have to leave your dream to the side, which has also happened to me too, right? It wasn't because it was the wrong timing, which is what I thought it was. It wasn't because I was not equipped enough or had the skill set. It was just because I was disorganized. Had I had the organization and was managing my time more effectively, who knows where that brand or that business I had back then that I let go of would have been today, you know? So I really don't want women feeling they have to give it up, especially after you become a mom, or if because whatever, your marriage or whatever, is not because of those things. It's because you really just don't know how to put things in the right order and to manage your time effectively. And so that is why I feel like this is something particularly that I could also integrate into other programs.
Absolutely. And I didn't even think about that. And just thinking, putting on my corporate hat, when we talk project management, like that's why it's so important for businesses to have project managers in place to ensure that the teams are working efficiently. And so I can definitely see how your skill set can help a business coach with their clients and just balancing that and making sure that that's all structured. So that definitely sounds like you could take this full time and adding
Yeah.
different components to the business, girl. Look,
Yes.
it's so many coaches and like when you really think about it, like these are really skill sets that can help people's business grow and really be efficient and just working like a well-oiled machine. Like
I'm telling you.
yeah, like I'm just saying, as you were talking, I'm like, wow, I didn't even think about that and how you could benefit another coach that's maybe like in a different, well, more so in the business area.
Mhm.
So when we talk delegation, because obviously like you help them delegate certain things, maybe in structuring. So that's one of my difficult things is to delegate tasks. Like I actually just had a consultation with a virtual assistant because it's just too much on my plate. And then when you think about like the little things that have to get done. So what is or do you have any tips or resources around how someone can properly delegate?
Yeah, so I usually do like in my one-on-one program, and I was going to share one of my clients right now. She's almost to the end. She keeps saying, I need a virtual assistant, but it may seem like it's so much. And so I actually do have a resource to help them take what's in your head, write it down, and see if it makes sense to have a virtual assistant. It's actually creating the SOP for a virtual assistant very easy. She couldn't believe how easy it was to get out of her head. But that is available with my one-on-one coaching.
Okay. So y'all get the coaching, y'all, because I had been going back and forth with the idea as well, because I saw it just, I think on Instagram, honestly, someone was promoting not the girl that I spoke to, but just someone else promoting their business. I mean, of course you hear of, personal assistants, but I guess it's really the same. It's just probably the person is not near you. But I was just like, I'm not, I don't need an assistant. I'm not like a huge big time CEO where I have everything going on. But in a sense, it's like when you think about starting a business, you're a team of one.
That's right.
And when you think of like big businesses, if you aspire for your business to grow, on a large scale, there are going to be different people that you hire to do certain tasks. So, the more I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? It actually isn't a bad idea, because when we talk about things running smoothly, I don't want to be stretching myself too thin and leaving things unfinished, right? Because I just don't have the time to do it. So I'm also one of those like control freaks too, that I'm just like, I have to do it in order for it to be right.
I could tell.
Yeah. And, it's a hard reality, but I'm realizing now, like, okay, girl, other people can do what you do and do better, especially if it's their area, right? Because certain things is just not your niche.
And then also, I think one of the things, like if I have to give a nugget in terms of like that, and I'm sure because you probably would have hired a virtual assistant already, but most of us struggle with, what do I even give my virtual assistant to do? It always starts with what is the season that you're in right now in your business? Like, what is the season that you're in your business? What's the goal for this season? What do you want to focus on? And when you focus on that and you dump everything that you do in your business, you'll see the things that are not directly aligned with what you're trying to accomplish in this season of your business. Those are the things you outsource.
Okay.
But they're not necessarily aligned with you accomplishing this goal in this season of your business. Those are the things you outsource. Yeah. So it all starts with, what are my goals? Like what is it I'm trying to accomplish this season of my business? And we all know, entrepreneur women, moms particular, we know, okay, this year, this is what I want to focus on in my business. You already know. So that other thing you're working on that's not really aligned with that taking a lot of your time, that might seem like it's routine and easy for you to do, or it seemed like it doesn't really need to be outsourced. Yeah, it needs to be outsourced because it's taking a lot of time away from you focusing on accomplishing the particular goal for the business.
I can 100% agree with that, because the thing that I need her to do for me is definitely, I mean, it's important for the business in some aspects, but again, it takes a lot of attention on its own, which is social media for me.
Right.
Social media is, it's the new thing, and I can't keep up because I'm not on it as much. Like, I'm on it on downtime,
Right.
But I mean, the busier that I get, it's like the less and less I have time to even focus on it and see what the new thing is in order to keep my
Right.
business afloat on that end of the spectrum. So I'm like, okay, that's definitely something I can get off my plate right now, especially to someone who knows content and can do that stuff. I'm like, okay, because it stresses me out. And I'm like, this is what I got to do. Like, I can't do it. Like,
Yeah, you go.
yes, take it, please. But
Yeah.
no, and that's one of the things where I was just like, you know what? It's okay to let
Yeah.
that go. And then I can focus on the things that I'm too controlish to let go because I want it to be a certain way.
Yeah.
So I definitely am glad that you highlighted delegation, because that is something that I think a lot of us miss, especially when it comes to thinking what is keeping me from being productive.
Yes. Yes, it's very, very big part of it. So, and like I know, and this is why, like, particularly my one-on-one, when we do one-on-one coaching, a lot, not one there are no two clients that focus on the same pillar at a time. Some of us struggle more with planning, some of us struggle more with delegation, some struggle more with boundaries, some more with prioritizing. And it all stems from the goals that they have set for themselves in that season of their life. So, like I have another client, her business was hit by the pandemic and it was very difficult. She stopped making revenue. And we did this one-on-one because she felt like she was kind of disorganized, trying to figure out like what she wants to do, her ideas for her business. She did the 6-week program, and before the end of the 6 weeks, she made something like $100,000 just from managing her time more effectively, right? Because
I sign up, honey? Because
right, because she was more organized. She had time to really focus on what she needed to really set achievable goals, and she was able to function. They're not crossing over with different things. People underestimate the value of being very efficient.
right.
She had a full-time job as well too, and you have your children. The pandemic, you can't send your children to the daycare because those things were closed down, and it was really stressful for her. But from the time she learned how to segment her day, and she had the time allotted to focus on her business, and we put the system to work, she was able to get up and running and make that money in 6 weeks. And I wouldn't even say 6 weeks. It was less than 6 weeks, because by the third week was when she really started to get into the rhythm of it. So that is the value of it. I always say time equals money. Like, that's no joke.
Absolutely. It really does. Like, sometimes I'll just sit there and I'm like, where is the day gone? Like, have I done anything? Like, it just seems like it's so much on the plate. So speaking of your clientele, are more of your clients full-time entrepreneurs, or they are still balancing like we are, the 9 to 5?
I have a mixed year. This particular person who made in the 6 weeks, she has a 9 to 5. And she's a part-time entrepreneur. And then I have full-time as well too. So it's a mixed year. It really is a mixed year. It's more, the one-on-one is really more for that person who has identified, this is not working. This is costing me. Either it's costing me my family, or it's costing me my business. I need help.
Right.
That's exactly you could be in a 9 to 5. You could be a full-time entrepreneur. Once you are an entrepreneur in some form or fashion, and you are a mother as well too,
right,
and you're stuck at managing your time, this is really the program for you. But you have to identify, if you're not sure, and you wouldn't make this decision if you don't think anything is wrong with what you're doing. Like, you would be very clear. You have to be on that brink of, okay, I can't sustain this. It might have been good to get my business up and running to this level, but I know I have more opportunities, but I could potentially lose it all because I know I'm not organized. Like, how do I shift? That is what Master the Clock is for. It's literally its name, Master the Clock. No more running after time. Like, you have to master your time.
Absolutely. Well, this is wonderful. And I know that a lot of my audience, they're working moms to an extent, whether it is entrepreneurial full-time, both, or just 9 to 5. So I definitely think that your services can help a lot of us mothers not experience that burnout and really just learn how to find structure in our lives. So if you could just tell the audience how they can find you and how they can sign up for any of the products and services that you have or purchase, I should say?
So I am very much involved on Instagram as Your Efficiency Coach, or even if you type up my name, you'll find me as well. But it's Your Efficiency Coach, and my website is www.yourefficiencycoach.com, right? That's where you could find me. I'm very responsive on Instagram as well too. So if you see me and something resonates with you, feel free, send a message. If you want to comment under the content, is fine. All my products are on my website, available to you as well too. And well, yeah, including the plan as well too, which is on Amazon, but it's on my website. You can see it there too.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate it. Is there any last minute tips or resources that you would like to share for any of those mamas that are struggling with balancing their time?
The only thing I would want to say to them is that you are not failing. You are very capable. You just probably don't have these systems and the tools and techniques to guide you. And that's okay. There is a place and there is a resource for you, right? But you are not failing. You are doing the best that you can. And if you know that you need to do better, reach out and get the help. You are in your way. For you to be the best version of yourself, you have to take responsibility and accountability and do what you have to do.
Thank you for giving that message to me, because I felt that. Well, I appreciate you for coming on, Ayanna, and sharing those gems with us today. And I know I am going to be getting myself a planner. So ladies, I definitely encourage you to check out Ayanna's products and services and see what is the best fit for you in your season right now with your business and your home. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. This is season 4, episode 2. And we are finding that balance, and I just need to go find my balance right now as soon as I get off of here. So as I always tell you, ladies, stay bossy and stay motivated, and I will talk to you all next time. Hey ladies, if you enjoyed today's episode, do me a favor and leave a 5-star rating and review. You can find the Boss Mom Movement streaming on Apple and Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and YouTube. Want to keep up with the movement? Visit my website at thebossmommovement.com and subscribe. Thanks for the support, and I'll see you next time.